when Papa Large came out and was doing so well, um, how did that change the trajectory of the group, in your opinion?
Well, actually, Papa Lodge was another story. Or see, once again, it's like how Ultra does stuff. How we always did stuff. Cool Keith brought the Prince record Bat Dance over to me, and he said, "Yo, say, hook this up." This is when I had moved to Philly, and we hooked up the Prince Bat Dance record. It was so crazy. That would have probably been our biggest record ever.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was hard and it was commercial, and it was Papa Large. But what happened was, being that it was Prince samples, we went to Prince for clearance, and Prince didn't want half of the song. He didn't want 3/4 of the song. He wanted all of the song. So I was so disheartened. I said, and they said, okay, we're gonna bring in Solid Productions, and I really didn't like the Solid Production version, but when they brought in the Beat Misers to do the Papa Laws, that was ultra. You know, it was hot. You know, they I didn't like I said, I didn't like what Mercury Records did, adding Solid Productions to Ultra Magnetic album, and that's one of the albums I hate. Is our second album, Funk Your Head Up, because there's an element on it that shouldn't have been there. See, like if you see on Four Horsemen, we brought in Godfather Don. We loved his sound. Paul C was on Critical Beatdown. It's not that we weren't, you understand what I'm saying? They brought in guys that it was just unrelated to Ultra Magnetic, and they messed up a lot of songs to me.
Well, it's interesting you say that, because I thought Four Horsemen was so much better than Funk Your Head Up.
Yeah, it was super better than Funk Your Head Up.
And that Four Horsemen, man, that album is phenomenal to me. So with the saga of Danny the Devil and Day in particular, that's one of my favorite songs on there because, my dad was really into baseball, still is, but he taught me a lot about the Negro Leagues as a kid and, different stuff. So hearing that song and, at this point reading about and having known a little bit about it, it was like a soundtrack, a history lesson of sorts. So do you remember how and why you guys decided to make that song?
Once again, it was something we didn't oppose. It was suggested by Stu Fine.
Really? Okay.
Wow Pitch. Yeah, he said, y'all guys ever thought about doing a dedication for the Negro Leagues? And we was, he didn't say do it. He said, have y'all ever thought about doing it? Because he was saying, because that's the time when they was talking about doing the Hall of Fame. He was saying, these guys, they need a little support. So we went ahead and did it. Did you ever get a chance to hear the remix to that?
I did.
Whew. Godfather Don went in on that. That's one of my all-time favorites.
No, it's
sax so captures the attitude of that record. Sick.
And I think too, the force and the passion that you guys have on there and the pride, I thought was like so powerful. And just a lot of the players you mentioned, some of whom I had heard of, but a lot of them I didn't. So I was able to look them up, And so that, I just always love that song. And when people realized how Satchel Paige and some of these guys have been playing for years, decade, and then come in and just smash the major leagues still, when they finally get their chance, it was just a great song, man. So I'm just glad and appreciative that you guys did that.
Yeah, like I said, it was something like right now, if somebody came to me with a great idea, that's why, like you said, you heard it in the voices. It was a great idea. It was something that just needed to be done. And it's something that I feel could resurface at any time. It's that type of record, All it takes is somebody to say, hey, I want to do a story on that, and boom, they pull that up.
Well,
So that's
we're
why you
talking
do.
about it now.
Yeah. Yeah. Baseball the day troops. It was, it was but see, now that record is out of is baseball is racial again. They practically removed us from baseball.
True.
So I said baseball the day troop is mostly non-racial, not anymore. So it's the dynamic of business, and it's what it is.
But you did say give him a Hall of Fame, and at least we got that.
Yeah.
So that's positive. And then that song too, as you guys did throughout your guys' career, you and Keith had I thought, great chemistry on that record. But that one was a little more, again, passionate. But it also had more of a, even though you did it, I also think the tag teamness on that song in particular was very special. Arguably as good, if not better, than any Critical Beatdown or any single. So, what was it about the recording of it that stands out or that really was so different?
Well, we did it at Godfather's Don's house. It was mixed at Power Play, but we did at Godfather's Don house, and I think it was a little more passionate with that record because we actually got to speak to a couple of those old players.
Oh wow!
Yeah, Stu Fine had them on speakerphone down at Wild Pitch Records, and we got to speak to them, and their enthusiasm that somebody's going to talk about it, I guess carried over. When you're touched, it's easier to do something, because now it becomes a passion. And like I told somebody, it's a difference between a passion and an idea. An idea is something you might try, right? But if it's not going well, you say, oh, well, I tried, it didn't work. A passion is something that when you meet resistance, and it depends on your level of the passion, you're going to just keep going because you're not trying to have it not happen. That's the difference between a passion and an idea. An idea is something you try. A passion is something most people with real passions want to see happen. So they're going to put whatever they got to do in it to make it come about. That's the difference. So it became more of a passion than just an idea, a good idea.
Yeah, as you can tell, I love that song. So it's a great one. And another song on that album was the Delta Force 2. And that one I was so interested because of the Tim Dog stuff, how you say I'm gonna keep gangster rapping. So what did that mean to you at that time, and why did you say it?
I just said it because honestly, like I said, as a producer, if you listen to that Delta 2, there's so much happening.
It's amazing.
Organized confusion, and it's just incredible, especially at the end of the record where that shit comes in. Da, 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 da. I'm like, what the? And I wasn't high.
Go figure.
Huh?
Go figure.
The record was. It was just so much happening on that record, and that's why I loved it. The mainly with the lyrics, it was more so just doing something different, flowing on it, because the record itself was just maybe in the year 3030, people be ready for it. I didn't make it for that time period.
Well, I also liked because now people shout people out all the time, and they used to back in the day. But I liked also how you shout out Rakim, because this was slightly past the golden era, but close still. So, since you and him both have very distinctive styles, what today, looking back, what makes what Rakim did so phenomenal in your opinion?
Because this is what Rakim did, and people didn't understand it. Up to Rakim, every rapper was screaming, you know, my Adidas, you know. And just like Rakim, when he tells a story about how he did Eric B for president, sitting down and Marley was like, oh, you should stand up. Rakim did what I just said. He broke all the rules. He said, I'm not going to scream. I'm not even going to talk in a regular tone. I'm going to be like I'm laid back, sitting down on my couch. And when it came out, it was just so different that it shook up the world. Like, he literally changed what people called hip hop, you know, and it was phenomenal, you know, and that's, you know, everybody's screaming. This guy comes back to the point where Marley Marl's demanding that he stands when he do the, see, he just, and that's what made it special, was because it was truly him. And he had a passion. He was going to do it his way. See, if it was an idea and Marley said, hey, you're going to stand up, he would have stood up.
Be sure to check out The History of Gangster Rap by Soren Baker. He's official.
History of Gangster Rap features exclusive interviews with Ice-T, Snoop Dogg, MC Ren, the D.O.C, and dozens of others. The History of Gangster Rap, a definitive look at how Los Angeles changed rap forever.
In Los Angeles, the streets definitely set the tone of the hip-hop music.
At 19, I got a $50,000 car.
My whole angle always was, I'll be street, but I will always tell you the horrors that go along with this life.
It will be penalties and casualties for just wearing the wrong color in somebody's neighborhood.
And once gangster rap made it from the streets to the TV, the genre exploded.
With Fab 5 on Yo MTV Raps with NWA.
Yo MTV, it just catapulted us from being local heroes to national gangbang rappers.
The History of Gangster Rap discusses it all from 1980 up till today.
It's always gonna be shit happening in the street. You know what I mean? So it's always gonna be something to talk about.
The History of Gangster Rap in stores now.